Hey y'all, it's me, and if you want to see how I went from this to this, just keep on watching. Okay, let's just jump right into it. So I've already parted my hair from ear to ear, giving us two sections, and I'm just going to part down the middle. Today we're going to be doing an illusion individual crochet braid tutorial. And once again, I'm going to go ahead and do that illusion part braid pattern. Y'all might have seen that in my previous video. Y'all, there is so many videos on YouTube. I'm not really getting into the tutorial of how to do the actual braid pattern. This is more on my tips and tricks for the actual crocheting. So if you want a better video on the tutorial on how to do the braid pattern, I will go ahead and pause this and come back. So once I got that part straight, I'm going to go ahead and section off this one section so I can tackle the other one. So if you didn't see my last video, you're going to make boxes. So each row, you're going to gauge how many boxes you need depending on how big your crochet braids are. And you want to box the first one in the front, connect it to the back, and do that all the way across. So here's an example of what you need to do. There's 3 boxes in the front, and I used the Cream of Nature Pure Honey Edge Control to achieve that slick look for each box. So I'm going to talk you through this next section. So remember, you want each box to be just big enough to look like it's actually coming out the scalp with the braid. So make sure you kind of measure your braids. I've used these braids before. Well, not these exact braids, but I've used this brand before. So I kind of know how big I want each box. So you're going to go in with the edge control and make sure all sides of the box are slicked down. You do want this to look as neat and clean as possible. And once you do that, I do use rubber bands just so mine turn out to be exactly how I want them to be. If you don't like using rubber bands, you can go ahead and skip that step, but you are going to want to go ahead and plait that piece down. So before I go in and plait the other piece, you're going to want to take the first plait you did, bring it into the next section, and then you're going to rubber band that piece to the next section so that it kind of interlocks with each other. If you're skipping the rubber band step, I would leave some hair midway down the section and kind of braid it into the next piece. I'm not the best with cornrows or anything like that, so I do it the way I know how to do it so that I get the outcome that I want. But once you rubber band the first piece to the next section, you're going to go ahead and use the first piece as one of your 3 parts when you're doing a braid, and then section the other loose hair into 2 sections and then braid from there. And repeat this step throughout the whole rest of your head. Okay, so this is what the first half of my head is looking like in the front. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the second half off camera. And this is the final look. So the front is what I just explained to you, the interlocking of the braids, and in the back, you could take the final pieces and just do straight cornrows. Okay, now for the crochet. So when I was at my local beauty supply store trying to pick out which kind of braids I wanted, I knew I wanted to try blonde braids because I'd never done blonde before. And of course, I'm a boho girly. So they had all these different brands and ones with more curly pieces than others, as you can see. But I really wasn't sold on that complete blonde look because I do have dark roots. And as you can see, the ones that did have dark roots, it was giving kind of gray. And that's not exactly what I was looking for. So I settled on the Mayde brand. I've used this brand before. I believe I used this in my last crochet video as well. And I wanted long braids. So I went with the 36 inches, I believe. Yeah, 36. And these right here. So I ended up getting one of these HTBrown colors for the nape, and the rest I got in that blonde color. But as I mentioned, I wanted dark roots. So I took it from this to this by using this high intense highlight spray in black. And you just want to do the roots. A trick I learned with doing like curly crochet is it's easier to go from the bottom of the braid when you're trying to slide it in, and also try to keep the curly pieces as straight as possible when pulling them through the loop. That'll ensure you don't get any snags as you're crocheting all these braids in. So this is what it's looking like after one full pack of hair. Once again, I just used that brown in the back, and that's just one full pack, and that's about 24 pieces. And this is what it's looking like. So now I'm just going to go in with that blonde, and once again I spray painted the roots so that it gives me that ombre effect. One thing I will say about this technique is you should probably give it 24 hours for the spray to dry, because I didn't, and this is what my hands was looking like after just putting in a couple pieces. So that is my disclaimer, something that I would go back and do differently. I'm only a third of the way through the pack of the blonde, but baby, when you see this face, you know I'm feeling it. That blonde over the brown is chef kiss. Like, can you say Beyonce? So this is what it's looking like after 2 full packs. That's 1 pack of the brown and 1 pack of the blonde. It's already giving fullness, and we're not even but a third of the way there. So keep that in mind when you're doing this style. I did feel like I did it a little thick, but when you finish, you can always go back and remove some and see how you're feeling about it. Okay, this is after 2 packs of blonde and 1 pack of the brown. So now that we're at the top, you're going to go ahead and crochet each of the braids through each of the boxes. This is going to be the quickest part, and it's also going to make sure that we get that illusion individual look that we're going for. And this is the final look. And this is what it's looking like from the top. I'm absolutely in love. This is my first time doing blonde braids, and I really think the dark roots help me feel more comfortable with it. I can't wait to do it half up, half down. It's gonna be really cute. And this is what the back's looking like. I did end up taking a few pieces out just so it's not as heavy. Right, but thanks you guys for doing these boho braids with me. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.